Hello. Let's move you over there. How's it going? I moved my camera way over here, so I need to stand here. Hi. Welcome. Is my audio okay? I recorded the audio and then I forgot to check it. It's always how it is, right? Oh, I can hit this right here. There we go. Hi, Hannah. How's it going? I'm so excited about the fitting so far. Like, I think that this has been awesome. Like, it's going really good. Hi, Hillary. Hi, Nancy. Nello. How's it going? Hi, Mullen. How's it going? Hi, Sue. Nice to see you all. Welcome back. Welcome back. I didn't end up trying on the new muslin, right? Did I just put it on the dress form? I did, that's right, yeah, okay. So I tried it on, I have a little video for you guys. I posted a comparison on Instagram. I hate putting pictures of myself like that out there, but hey, it's real life, right? So to recap, we are making the Donnie shirt by Friday Pattern Company. Super cute shirt, very popular in my guild. In fact, somebody did a post or poll yesterday asking how many Donnie shirts have you made, and the count is up to like 29. 29 in all the people in the guild, which is pretty cool. So that was neat. And I'm sure there's more to come. This is, I haven't added mine, right? I saw someone else working on theirs, so. It was, Sue, that's awesome. Yeah, you know, I think that when you see, I have to admit, like, FBAs are not a thing in the fashion industry. They weren't when I was in the fashion industry or the garment industry. We did not add volume like that. We did, but it was just different. It had the same effect. And it's not like the change was very different. It was just that it's handled differently because you're fitting a standardized size chart, not an individual person, right? So if there's a change like that, you would make it in a different way. Anyway, beside the point. So I work with people fitting things, and there's a lot of reluctance to do an FBA, and I get it. Even I was kind of like, FBA. I had to ask you guys so many times, what is an FBA? Like, I didn't even know. Just because it's a very home sewing specific thing, but it's what I like about it. What I love about the fitting techniques in the home sewing world is that a lot of them are designed to maintain the integrity of the other seams that are sewing to it. Because then there's fewer changes and you don't get lost in the sauce, right? It's easier to keep someone who doesn't do pattern drafting for a living on track by doing the changes the way they're executed in the home sewing world. And I see some fitting things in the home sewing world that I'm like, that doesn't actually do that, but okay, if you guys feel like it's working, great. And it also can change other things, you know? But sometimes you gotta pick your poison, right? Yeah, oh yeah, go add to the poll, Mullen. Aisha posted it yesterday. Hi, Justine. Hi, Terry. Hello, Danny. Hi, Julie. So, I come across people that are really hesitant, and I think that I can't always convey the before and after. So one thing I really want to stress today is that I could see someone looking at my before and after and going, wow, that Donnie shirt, it sure wasn't drafted well, or it doesn't fit great. But that's not the case at all. Like, when you look at what I've done to the shirt to fit me, I didn't alter anything about the shirt because it was wrong. I altered it because I didn't fit it the way it's supposed to be fitting, right? So their person that they're using as their standard base model, like the people that they're fitting, they don't look like me. And also I'm a maturing body, right? So I have different fit issues than someone who may be 32 years old, right? Or something like that. So I want to stress that because when you look at, like, because remember what I said in the beginning, I said, okay, I picked a size down from where the bust would put me on their chart. And I did that based on the 30 Donnies that have been sewn in the guild. They're all like, you know, we all sized down because it would have been 7 inches of volume and of ease. And I agree, I don't want 7 inches. I think it looks great on some people, but for me, it would be too much. And so I sized down. Now, the changes I did, the only one I did that changed the circumference in any way was the back hip circumference I did because of my hip tilt. So let's say that I had gone with the size that I was supposed to sew. The pattern would have only been 2 or 3 inches larger in circumference, right? So the pattern would have been like a 1/4 of an inch bigger at all these circumference seams, like your side seams, right? That's not very much. You can see the grade, or not a 1/4 inch, it's like a 1/2 inch. You can see the grade here. See these little steps? 1/2 inch right there between the sizes. So that's 2 inches, right? So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, that's 1 inch, 1 inch on the other side. So sorry, I said 1/4, I meant half. And I mean 1/4 of the measurement. That's why I said that. So if I would have cut the extra large, I would have had all the exact same issues. That's why I want to stress the fact that it's not like the pattern's wrong. It's that I am not fitting it the way it was designed to fit somebody, right? So I have fit issues that didn't jive with it. So anyway, I just want to say that because I feel like people see this and they're like, oh God, that pattern's a hot mess. It's not. It's just, I needed a lot of changes. So anyway, and the dart is an optional thing, right? For some people, not putting a dart in works really good. For me, I need something. I need something because otherwise the volume falls off the apex of my boobs and it just looks like a curtain, right? It doesn't hang in the same way it would if you offer a little shaping, because when you think of a person, right? Where's little Trixie? Okay, let's look at Trixie here, right? Trixie is not a plank, right? She's got protuberances, right? This is me. This is a scan of me in half size, right? So if you were to just fit with no darts at all, you're basically asking a flat thing to fit someone with a bust, a shape, right? Wait, I'm not sure I understand your question, Gail. So I just want to stress that, like, you can make a dartless shirt work for you. You just need to like do a little bit of tweaks here and there and make it kind of fit the way your body is designed. And breasts are, and chests and any kind of tissue here varies wildly between people. So, hi Gail. Speaking of mature, how do you do the bust apex? Wait. Wow. This reaction thing, it's covering one word. I'm going to just type in chat so I can see the word. Oh, drop the bust apex. How do you drop the bust apex? Do you mean drop the bust apex on the pattern of the vanishing point of the dart? I don't have a class on this, but you can simply cut this out, just cut this whole thing out and lower it. Or if you want to lower your dart, you can just cut out your whole dart and lower it and blend on the side seams. So let me get my little whiteboard and I'll do a really quick little thing, but then I'm going to get to fitting the Donnie. I have to go all the way over here. Uh-oh, I don't see my eraser. You know what that means. So if if you're in my guild, you know my whiteboard. All right, so here is the garment, right? So what you can do is cut this out, like literally use your scissors and cut this out. And then now lower it. And that's it. And then you need to blend this side seam. So when you go to blend the side, like kind of redraw the side seam so that it's a nice smooth line. You're gonna do the same thing I did when I was finding my dart leg. So fold your dart, and then, you know, you might have a little bit of, the dart might be like sticking out or something, and just draw a straight line from your hem to your underarm. That's it. Oh, thanks, Terry. Dope. So, that's what I would do. That's nice. That's like actually a good spot for that. All right. So, I hope, does that make sense? Is that helpful? Yeah. And yesterday, if you saw at the beginning of the fitting, there was no dart on this, but I did drop the garment by doing that. Like you could tell my front was riding up, and that is the full bust adjustment, the FBA. FBA. I don't know. I'm feeling super punchy today. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you can, oh, this is actually, you can see it. You see how the paper here is lower right here? And then I added all this right here. I blended it in because I wanted this length. So you could see when I was wearing it, and I'm going to show you some before and after videos right now because I put myself out there that is exactly what this FBA does. So here I added all this circumference, and then I dropped the length. So, all right, so let's go a little review. So here is the before. This is my before. You can see hanging up on the back hips, the armhole gaping, the shoulder seam is way far back. I think that if I were to say anything about this pattern that I would, I think is kind of in a bad spot is the shoulder seam. The shoulder seam's way far back. You see the drag lines pointing at my bust right there, especially on the side with the sleeve. So there we go. And then here is my part two. My fit. This is what I did to fit. This is what when I fit everything. This is what happened. Sorry, my screen just did something crazy, so I was a little bit like, oh, what happened there? So look, I got rid of all those drag lines. The hip isn't hanging up on my back. I got rid of the gapes on the back of the armhole, and I did that in two ways. I moved my shoulder forward, and I did a round back adjustment at the yoke seam, which is in Fittopedia, page 15. And see, I'm pulling it there to be like, can I picture this lower? But do you see this volume hanging off my bust still? That I kind of pinch here at the beginning. I think the dart could be, like on the right side, it's kind of weird. See that right there, that hanging off the front? And you can still see a little bit of drag line. I'm going to get rid of that. So see that right there? I do this in videos because I'm like, what do I think of that? I think that the length could definitely be longer. It's a really short top. Every time I see it on people, it does not look short. The sleeve is actually kind of comfortable, which surprised me, but I'm going to still deal with the ease. So, all right, so this is the after. And then I have some side-by-side. So this side-by-side isn't a very good picture on the dress form. I couldn't get the shadows to cooperate. This is my before. So this is the front, and on the front, you can see the drag lines pointing to the bust, right? Okay. Here's my side without a sleeve. This one is probably the biggest difference. You can see the back hip relaxes. So remember, I did not make my garment bigger. All I did was add some shaping. That's all I did. All right. And then here is the back view. I'm not holding it up in that picture on the left. That is how it sits on my hips. I only added 1.25 inches across the back hips, but the FBA helped me too. So I did add circumference to the front in the form of the FBA, but we're gonna take out a little bit of that. So, all right, so here is my one with the sleeve. My dress form's smaller than me, by the way. So, but yeah, okay. So, all right. Do you guys have any questions or anything before I get going on here, or any comments or anything? Like, I don't want to lose your comments or something. So, this is what I think. So when you do an FBA and you increase your volume down here, usually you get rid of this after you've added your dart. You will either add a dart here or you will shave it off the side seam if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this dart a little bigger and just sort of pick it up a little, because I can see that will help. And I have my dress form here. Right? So you see how this is, what's going on over here? So you see how it hangs off like that, right? I'm sorry it's muslin. I'm just running out of other fabrics. My bust is much lower now than my dress form too, just so you know. But so you see that? And so let's say we decide to increase this dart a little bit. And you see how it starts picking up that front volume? I'm not holding it very well, but I'll pin it so you can kind of picture it better. Darts are beautiful creatures. They're just amazing. People will say, I don't want a shoulder dart in the back. I'm like, why though? See, look at the difference. Look at that. Just increasing the dart a little bit, right? This drag line is caused because I made the dart there. So if you see this right here and you have a side dart, you can get rid of it by picking up your dart a little bit, increasing your dart, and it kind of picks up the thing. Remove the excess at the waist, and I don't mind if it has a... Yeah, exactly, Sarah, yeah. So I just want you to see that difference there. So now the one thing I did yesterday that I didn't reconcile yet is my, so I decreased my shoulder. So I decreased my outer shoulder here, right here, on the back only. That's kind of a rare change. And it's really that the slope just wasn't enough on the back. And then I moved the shoulder line forward, really just because I like the seam in the front here. I know you can't see me on camera, sorry. I had configured it so that the full screen would, let's change it a little bit. Why is it suddenly dark? Oh my gosh. Why is it suddenly dark? What the heck? Ay, caramba. Okay, that's so weird. I put it back and forth. Okay, so so see right here. So I moved the shoulder seam forward by a lot, and then I trimmed off only the back shoulder right there. So now my armhole smaller. All right, number one. I also did a round back adjustment at the top of the back. So here's the back, right here's the seam. This is the seam that sews to the yoke, and I see how I curved it there? Twice now I have taken off of the back armhole. So remember when I went to sew my muslin and I was like, why is there so much ease? Because I hadn't reconciled this, because I wanted to sew my muslin, see how everything was, and then go back and reconcile that, right? Yeah, that's kind of true, Sarah, but you can also get that circumference you need without compromising and having those folds hanging off your boobs, you know? So if you're not getting that and it's working for you, that's totally great. I mean, that's fine. It's just when you do an FBA often, you are adding across right here, because you need more up here, right? Those drag lines pointing to my bust were showing me like, hey, you need more circumference, but you need it here. You don't need it up here. You You need it here. And we're going to do that and create a dart. You don't have to create a dart. You know, you could just straighten this out and then deal with that, like reconcile that. But if you don't want that like hanging off, just make your dart a little bigger. So, all right, so the only thing I have to still reconcile from all my changes yesterday is this sleeve. But I have one thing I was considering doing that's going to take care of that, and that is adding a little circumference all the way around. But the first things I want to take care of right now is I have my little list. So here's what I think I want to do based on my current muslin. Hi, Barbara. I want to increase my dart a little bit, right? I want to increase my back hip a little more. I want to lengthen the whole garment. And then lastly, I'm going to add a little circumference just overall to give it more of that boxy vibe. And I probably will be putting myself closer to the XL in some ways. So we are getting there, but I didn't in all the other areas. All the other areas are still the large. That little circumference bump right here is going to compensate for what I took off on the back armhole. Yeah, exactly. This, I think, is drafted for a B cup. And I am double D. So, yeah. When I saw the B cup, I was like, oh, no. Like, that. I haven't been a B cup since I was 10 years old. And I'm not joking. So, yeah. All right. Let's see here. We've got our ruler. We've got our pencil. So as far as this dart pickup goes, I'm pinning kind of a lot there. So we're going to make it larger. And we're going to, when I make it larger, I'm always measuring on the seam line and marking my new point through that point right here on the seam line. All right. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more seam allowance for French seams. Yeah, exactly, Aisha. Yeah, totally. Yeah, like a linen, that I don't think that would bug me that much, like that fullness hanging there. But like in a, you know, like if you did like a flannel, which is a little, some flannels are drapey and some aren't, you know, it just depends. All right, so we've increased our dart. I'll draw it in Sharpie so you can see it, right? This is going to make my side seam too short to match the back now. So we're going to fix that. Sew this together like this. We'll take it over here. All right. And actually, I think what I'll do is measure this seam right now. When you're pattern drafting, you would never use the other pattern piece to mark your length. I know we do that in home sewing a lot, but you just wouldn't. Okay, yeah, that's exactly an inch. Perfect, perfect. All right, so now right now, I am now at neutral, right? I can, well, let's redraw this. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to cut that yet because I want to add to my seam allowance, but I'm going to mark my dart legs there. All right, so now we've increased our dart. We want to increase our back hip some more. Everyone's seen it. Everyone seems to love a boxy. I'm not sure I understand why. What is the... I like boxy tops. I don't know. You understand? You were 34J. Yeah, I made 2 Donnie. Second one I made in FBA. I wish it would... Oh, it was too boxy. Yeah. I think for me, boxy tops didn't look good until I started fixing the back hip tilt and adding a bust dart. Because it's not... Like this right here, you know, like this shirt I'm wearing here. It's kind of boxy, but this is kind of what I'm going for. Right? They're just comfortable. All right, so the back hip tilt. So when you're dealing with back hip tilt issues, you can kick out the side seam. You can also slash and spread apart if you want. If you're going, like you need a lot and you just are feeling like, ooh, the side seam is really shaped. I don't really know if I want to do that. So just so you know, I'm probably just going to add to the back side seam right here again because that worked. I'm kind of debating. I'm like, well, maybe I want to do some slash and spread. And I'd probably do it like right here. We can do that. Yep, just whoosh. It's not done yet. I'm going to add it back here rather than keeping and adding it at the side seam. So I'm looking right now. You see how the there's a notch right here. So the Donnie has some gathers that are in the center of the back of the garment. And I think that it would be, like I could keep it in there. I'm not adding fullness to the gathers. I'm adding fullness to the hip circumference. So the pattern drafter in me wants to do it in 2 spots, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it like right here. And we'll just cut straight up and then down on the seam line there. But I don't really use tissue paper a lot, and it's very interesting. There we go. I'm not going to use that piece of tape. We have a little piece of paper here. We'll slide it under. Tape one side down first. You can add to the side seam. I did yesterday. So it just depends on what your side seam looks like. So say this side seam had some curve to it and it matched the front side seam, like in silhouette and shape. If you keep adding it, you might start feeling a little bit like it's getting away from you. You know, like you don't have to add it all here. You can distribute it across the back because it can go anywhere along the hip. And so this way, because I'm not adding a whole lot and it's not going to change this up here, and this isn't, you know, like if this was, let's say this was a whole garment, right? It was a whole garment, sorry, a whole back without a yoke like this. I would probably evaluate it a little differently. I couldn't stop here. I'd have to go all the way to the shoulder or neck. That's going to mess around with the across shoulder amount there. If I want that, great. If I don't, I wouldn't do that. This right here, I'm just adding it to the lower back, and I'm kind of taking advantage of the fact that there's gathers back there, you know. So it has the gathers right here, right? It's just an opportunistic way to kind of utilize that fullness back there to mask adding something. So that's all. But if say this was a fitted garment like my sloper, I would be being more strategic. If it was really fitted, I'd probably be either using the side seam or doing it in multiple places. Maybe, say I had a princess seam, not a princess seam, a dart here, a torso dart. My sloper's a torso. If I had a torso dart, I'd probably slice along the dart, depending, and I'd do it on this side probably of the dart. So it just depends, Justine. So I'm just capitalizing on the fact that the back's not fitted. That's all. And showing you a different way to do it. Just make sure it's flat up there. Plus, I don't want to change this line at all. Like, I don't want to get like a point, right? I want it still nice, smooth line. So if whatever I'm adding is going to double across the back. And because I'm going to lengthen this, it's going to add even more down here. So we need to bear that in mind. So I think I'm going to make my Donnie like 2 inches longer, because I can always make it shorter, right? So if I make it 2 inches longer, and I look at how much I'm spreading apart the paper here, here is the cut line of the paper. I can look at this like, well, I know I want 3/4 of an inch across the back at the point where this is hitting me now. But, you know, bearing in mind that, oh, by the time it gets down to the hem here, I'm actually adding a whole inch down there. So this is where we wanted it. So we add what we wanted, where this is sitting right now, and then we're going to add our circumference later. So let's go 5/8. And I'm measuring it where I think is the hemline, about right there. I don't want the back to be so, like, it's easy to go, oh, I'll just add a lot to make sure I have enough. But the thing is that if you add a lot and it's not really, it's like too much, what'll happen is it'll push forward onto the front a little bit, and then the front will start getting a little sloppy. So you don't really want to overkill it. Put some thought into it and just sort of, you know, use some logic and look at it at a couple different angles. Well, if it was this, maybe I would add that. You know, or, you know, if you have a muslin, you can always cut up your muslin, go all the way up and let it relax and see what feels nice. This is why muslins are so great, is because they're not precious. You can use a Sharpie on them, you can use your scissors on them, and you're not out more time at the pattern table and cutting and sewing muslins, right? Okay, so now we've added to our back hip, right? So the next thing we can do, I'm going to add a 1/2 inch to each of my side seams for more circumference. And actually, maybe I don't want to add to my back hip. Maybe I don't want to if I'm adding to my circumference. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to take that off. If I wasn't adding to the circumference all the way around, bust and like from chest down, I would do this, but I'm not going to, so I take it back. This is the other thing you got to be willing to do. Admit you were wrong and go back. Don't sit there and dig your heels in. I see people dig their heels in all the time, and it's like, no, you had a feeling. Trust your instincts. All right, so we'll take this out. All right, I'm going to add a 1/2 inch in circumference. Now I'm going all the way through the armhole. It's really important to note. And we're going to sort of true this up. Here's my cut line right now. You can't see it. That's my cut line. So we're going to true this up. I'm going to add my 2 inches in hem length, overall length. And the last thing I'm going to do is increase my seam allowance so that I can do French seams. Now I only need to do this on my side seam and my armhole on this piece here. The the yoke is enclosed, so we don't need it there. We just need it on the armhole, side seam, and underarm of this pattern. If you want French seams, all the rest of it is taken care of. All right, so here we go. Here's our back is done. I thought I grabbed black, but okay. I do, just so you know, I do this little wavy thing when something's cut on the fold because I am a silly goose and I have made mistakes before. All right, let's make sure that this is, we can take this off. I have to cover up the tape because it's sticky. We like tape around here. All right, so let's trim this off here. All right, so now our back is ready. Let's do our front. Hi, Amy, how's it going? All right, so on the front, we need to add to our circumference. And we need to add to our length. I'm excited to see the increased start. And then we're gonna check our back to our front and make sure that it sews. So I'm getting a line like that. And then we're also gonna check that when they're sewn together, we're getting a nice, smooth, oh, we need the seam allowance, the extra seam allowance first, so that I'm overlapping it the proper amount. Oi. Here we go. Okay, so let's check our do this. We want to check to see that when this is sewn together, that we're getting a nice smooth transition here, like that. So this is the line we want to cut on. All right, now this is ready. Oh, we need the seam allowance on the armhole. All right. Hi, Eliza. How's it going? This is not on the fold, so we'll cut that off. And we can undo this now. Gotta be gentle with that tissue paper sometimes. We're gonna redraw where our dart leg hits the side seam, because this is a notch we need right here. And here's my vanishing point. I'm feeling a little like okay about the vanishing point. I don't know. I think that on one side of me, I liked it better than the other. Shout out to Hearts for being so generous and letting me, like, this is a sample that goes and hangs in their store, but they let me they let me custom fit these things. Like, they have no rules. It's really rare that they're like, just make a size 10. I think they've told me that maybe twice out of all the things in all the years they've been sending us some projects. So it's kind of nice, like, to be able to go through this whole exercise, because the way they look at it is like, if this helps our customers, then please do it or have some fun with it, you know? So I don't like this little whoop-de-doo right there, so I'm just getting rid of it. That's just a personal preference though. All right, and then this is also on the fold. So what I did, Eliza, was that was the one thing today I had to reconcile, because I had taken out in the armhole circumference yesterday, so I had to add something back. Yeah, I fixed that already, Julie. I fixed that early on. There's a piece of, what is going on with this tape right here? Did I lose a piece or something? It's super sticky. It's sticking to everything. Yeah, so I was just, and then I just double checked it also, but yeah, see, they're okay now. Yeah, I think the FBA really helps. All right, so I have added an inch to this armhole circumference, and yesterday I had taken off an inch. So that's perfect. It's a wash now. We are back on track. I was doing some math like, wait, is that true? I moved the shoulder forward an inch, but or 3/4 of an inch, and then I decreased, or something like that, 3/4 of an inch. So we're okay here now. All right, so my facing is fine. Nothing I did today affects the facing or the pocket. Although I think this pocket is too far into the armpit. Like, it's really weird. I think I might move it over an inch. An inch. Yeah, that's true, Aisha. Exactly. All right. So let's make our pocket marking here. And I'm going to go buy this XL one here. I sort of lost it over here. Let's see how long the line was. It was like 4 inches. So we will put our mark here to here. This is my pocket. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Danny. I like loose, casual fit, or body skimming at the most, like at the least, I guess I should say. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Danny. Yeah, and I think like one of my concerns going into this was how differently this fits both these models. And I meant to look and see if they listed what size each of these people are, like as far as what their bust measurement is and then what size they're wearing. Because I feel like the gal on the right went down a size and the gal on the left didn't. Because look at the armhole seam. So I'm not sure. And you see this. We got rid of that on ours, right? She's more like a B cup, so it's going to fit her better because it was designed for that. And I don't know what cup size she is on the left. So, all right. The last thing I need to do is add my extra seam allowance to the sleeve so I can do French seams. I think the sleeve could be a little shorter too, like actually a lot shorter. That's another thing that sometimes will ruin the fit of something kind of loose, is the sleeve will look really sloppy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you're right, Danny. I have a feeling because they're pretty good about listing stuff like that. And I kept forgetting to look. Oh wait, we're gonna go 1/4 inch whole cap. We're adding a 1/4 inch seam allowance. We want 5/8. So just so you know, like I can see this is actually my cut line. That's why I'm going so far away from the tissue. I have a feeling they put the curvy model in a bigger Donny because of the cup size being wrong instead of doing that. Oh, maybe. I really like it when I see the owner of the company wearing their pattern. Like, because usually it's the owner of the company we see, right? Because it's not like they have a huge budget to hire a lot of models, right? And they will say something like, or they'll say it about the model, you know, Sydney is wearing a size 8 with an FBA and a forward cap adjustment. I'm like, thank you for saying that. Because I think that it models that everybody needs to fit something, no matter who they are or what they look like, and that you can get these same results if you do that, and that you're not expected to get these results by making it straight out of the packet. So yeah, we're ready to cut. Woo woo. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think it just depends on who your target customer is, Aisha, and it's not like that companies list that unless they do. Let's face it, I am nobody's target market in this home sewing world. And I think a lot of I know, because I know you guys from the guild and I've seen you and I know your fit issues. I think a lot of you are not the target customer for most of these pattern companies either. And I think that is why a lot of people get really, really frustrated. It's not a pattern company's obligation to make everybody their target market, but it also doesn't mean, like, if you want to see yourself, you need to create what you want, right? And a lot of these companies, that's why they do this, right? They say, I didn't see anything I like that fit me, so I'm going to make this. Some of these companies, when they say that, I'm like, are you serious? Because everything fits you and your target market and your target demographic. When I see someone like Jenny from Cashmerette say, there were no patterns for big boobs, I made them. She's absolutely right, you know? But other people, I'm like, yeah, I think that's a really gaslighty way to say you wanted to start your own pattern company. So, you know. Anyway. But is anything about what the model's measurement? Wait. Oh, it doesn't say anything? The model in the white version is wearing a size small. And the fabric is silk noil. The model in the green version. Yeah, but they don't say. Oh, that's from their website, because that's what it says in the pattern. Yeah, exactly. I need the measurement. I need the measurement. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, Aisha. I feel like I'm more surprised when I see a company starts with a cup size C. There are a lot of people at every cup size. You can't say one is more dominant than the other, I don't think. I don't know. I feel like I know a lot of people who are B cup. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, they can't satisfy all of us. They just can't. I'm kind of on their side and also kind of like, be more honest, please. Please be more honest. I don't expect that companies will draft for a mature body. You know? This does not take a lot of fabric, does it? Holy. All right, so wouldn't it be cool if I could, those days have long passed, but you know, it was close. I could get one front over there and then my sleeves. Okay, let's do that. This is the, why is it so dark? This is the Brussels washer linen in a jam. It's really pretty. Hello, Anne. How's it going? I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. I have this thing that really wants to update right now. Is that too bright? It's okay. Let's get rid of this and move you over here. Why am I getting an eye twitch? Okay, I haven't gotten an eye twitch in a while. I used to get twitches all the time. They were terrible. Yeah, and on the other hand, like I think a lot of people, like, to use cashmere as an example, they were, you know, they just set out to make curvy size patterns for people with boobs. Not all curvy people have big boobs, right? So I think that they've come under fire for that. And I'm like, why? I mean, that was a very specific mission statement. It is stated very clearly for everybody. They're not like trying to hide it. And I think that that's a good example of, you just can't do everything for every person, you know? All right. I hope I get to keep this one. Let me use the grid on my table to get this kind of straight. Yeah, they're totally trying. I'm not knocking them at all. That's why I'm saying, like, yeah, it's, if your target demographic is age-based, though, you are going to target market yourself out of a business eventually. But if it's size-based, it's different. This color is really pretty in person. It's just, I think jam is such a great name for it. All right, so notches. This is the first time I feel like I was really good about remembering to add my seam allowances. There's so many streams where I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to add to the seam allowances, and I want French seams. All right, so here's my back. How much fabric does this take? Wait, oh. $1.4? Really? I have this really cute fabric. I wonder if I have enough of it. I sort of had envisioned making something with like a little eyelet yoke to go with it. Wait, how's this? What is this fabric? Where's the selvage? This is the selvage? It's sideways? What the what? What the what? Huh. All right. Oh, sorry. Did you ask a question? This is the jam. This is sideways. Huh. Okay. I can't make this on camera for obvious reasons. That was a selfish buy. I think I put the fabric in the description, a link to it, Anne. All right, so for this front, we could fold this like this. Can we do that? Can we? 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 Okay, let's flip it over. There we go. Yeah, ooh. This is a very economical pattern. You know, when you're not making long sleeves, everything's kind of economical, isn't it? Or sleeveless. Sleeves add so much. All right, so. Oh, I didn't add the French seam to my center front. Sorry, that's way too bright. Why aren't you complaining? There you, oh, that's great, Danny. Wait, Aisha, how are you finishing? How are all of you who've sewn 30 Donnies finishing your center front seam? Because of the pullover thing. Can I do a French seam there? I have to think about this. All right, I'm going to give myself the seam allowance for it, but we may not need it, you know? You have French seamed this? Oh, okay, good. I think that's of this whole construction, it's the only, wow, look at this thing. It just bends. Okay, then. Is getting that little juncture for the pullover nice. Those are hard to sew. No, that was the length grain right here. So what I did was, wait a minute, I gotta get this pin out. So I refolded the fabric so that I was only cutting what I needed for the back, and then that piece left to the next to it, I folded selvage to selvage together. So yeah, no, I cut them both on the length grain. I just did kind of a little, oh, I forgot this notch right here. This notch is really important. This one here, I'm gonna use scissors. And this one here, where is it? Right here. I got my darts, I got my that. Okay, I don't need anything else. Yeah, but Sarah, does the NYX have like a slit opening like that? It's not I can't remember what the NYX looks like, so I could be wrong. It's more that it's this juncture with that facing there. Yeah, see, now I'm left with all of this and yeah. Let's see. I still need the yoke and collars. Maybe we can use this as the facing. One facing. Okay, wait, I have a lot left to cut. Now I'm nervous. We got this right. So we have the sleeve. We have a yoke. We do not have two yokes there. Do we have two yokes? Maybe we actually do have two yokes. Let's fold this where we're folding it. It has a V-neck with a facing. But not like a seam going, like a slit into it, right? There. Ugh. What if I did this? This. Okay, I think I can get two across there. But can I get two collars? No. I'm panicking now. What the heck? What the heck, man? So, what if I do my sleeves? Like this. Like that. Okay, I can get two sleeves across here. All right. I can get two sleeves across. Yeah, I don't think it's the same because this one has like a seam going into a slit. Yeah, I know. I probably, yeah. Let's see, we have then, and then, okay, that. Maybe this isn't as economical as I thought. Okay, I can get the collar across here, maybe, maybe not. Holy, what the heck? I'm totally down for that. I love doing things like that. My only issue with that is that if I don't pick a fabric that Hearts has, I'm sending them a garment potentially with a fabric on the inside, and then people will be like, oh, where's that fabric at? You know what I mean? So I will do that with binding sometimes, you know, because I'm like, it's binding. Brussels washer linen is a combo of, let's see. Oh, she didn't give me the, she didn't give me the content, but here, I'll pull it up for you. Because it's a blend, it's a linen blend. So it's like I think it's a linen rayon blend. Here we go. Yeah, it's just that it just has a name, it's just a name for it. So it's like a brand name, you know, like saying Kleenex over tissue. It's 55 linen, 45 rayon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought it was, yeah, no, because there's viscous linen oil, right? Yeah, 55 linen, 45 rayon. So it's like it's just like a brand, like their version of that, this company. All right, so I know I can get 2 sleeves across. I can probably get 2 yolks across if I stagger them, I think. We'll use this for my pocket down here. And now we're left with the collar. If this was on the fold all the way over here, could I get 2 collars? Yes, okay. So that means that I'm left with 2 facings. So if I can get 2 of the yolks, like one above the other, I think we've got it. Holy, this was really close. Really, really close. What's nice about it is that it doesn't wrinkle as bad as well. It's a little more drapier than some linens, 100% linens would be. Okay, so here's my plan. Stick to the plan. We're gonna do 2 sleeves across, and we're gonna try and stagger them from one another like this. I'll do things like this, put my ruler in here to see if I'm close. Eek. I don't know. Okay, maybe if I do this one first, and then I will raise that one up to match. Okay, we got this. Yeah, it's like $16 a yard, which is actually a very affordable garment fabric, and it's washable and it doesn't shrink, wrinkle very much, which is kind of nice. Easy care. More stable, like I think rayons are a little bit fragile. Like they kind of fade really quick and they tear easily, in my opinion. I really like rayon, but it's not my first choice because I feel like it can be a little bit fragile. Okay. No flourishes with the rotary knife, Saremy. Like this one right here. Don't do that. Knock it off. Okay. We're going to pull this down. I'm going to eyeball the grain because that's not a selvage there. All right. All right. These notches are in such a really high place. All right, so I cut both of these sleeves right side up. Don't do that. My fabric doesn't have a right or wrong side, so I'm going to be okay, but that was kind of an oversight. All right, so then my other thing was we're going to get the collars out. Then we're going to do the yolks one above the other and the facing side by side. I'm saying this like I'm going to manifest it or something, you know. This is how it's going to be. It's going to work. All right, so let's start here. We can get this across, right? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, we're good. But do I dare cut 2 of these out? There's not a top and an under collar. That's kind of annoying. I think I'm going to cut this out like this, and we're going to come back to it. I might fuse that first. The shoulder has a yoke, so it'll be enclosed, so I'm okay. But thanks for thinking of me. All right, so we have our facing, and we have our yoke. Whew, shoot dang, we made it. Okay. Always an adventure. So let's do this right here. I can't really see it. I want to cut it the other direction because I want this like that to be on this side just in case I need it for the yoke, you know? So let's just take this off so we can see it. I'm going to fold it so I can see my grain line on the back side there. Like that. Oof. Close, close. Very close. Why am I so close on fabric? I don't feel like I was very cavalier with the first cut either. Good thing I refolded the back. All right. That left a little bigger of a piece there. This seems like the kind of fabric that you may have to check it after you've cut it out, like the next day. Linen man. Linen's like, I'm going to do whatever I want. We need the notches. I forgot. That's why I said it there. Oh, you didn't have to delete your comment. I'm glad you're looking out for me. And that's good. Someone was probably wondering the same thing. I don't expect you to be paying attention to every single second I'm sitting here doing stuff. All right. Okay, we just need the yoke. I think we got it. I wish it was a full pattern piece though. Phew. Okay. Plenty of room. It's really funny how when you're really low on fabric, that when you're like, look at that extra ½ inch I have, you really start making yourself feel really good about cutting it super close and like it wasn't as close as you thought or something. Wait, I have 2 layers here. Barely. Barely. All right. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay, we need a notch down here for our gather placement. And I always do one at the center of the neck and the lower yoke. Now we'll fold this. Hi Jackie, how's it going? Yeah, see, Terry's right. Really, they're like, ooh, she's gonna make a boo-boo. Let's not tell her so we get some sewing drama. Look at all this extra fabric I have. Dang, we got the scrappiest of scraps. Okay. We just have collars and a pocket to cut now. Ooh, yeah, you got me thinking about that shirt. Yeah, I might pick that up. Have I brought any patterns this year? Oh, I bought the DVF, which I still don't have fabric for. I bought the DVF. Didn't I buy something else this year? Hi, Walter. How's it going? I was just thinking about you. Walter made this funny little comment yesterday, and then, or maybe today, I don't know. I saw it today. And then when I went to reply to it, it wasn't that comment at all. He edited it sneakily. He was like, ooh, Flat Curve. That'd be a really good name for a rock band. And then when I went to reply, it was like a much longer, more like expansive comment about stuff. You'll be done today? Ooh, I can't wait to see it. I'm going to cut both these collars out at the same time, but we're going to make one of them an under collar. Especially with this linen. It'll look a lot nicer. All right, here's our new notch right here. We have our center back here. And now we're going to do a little flippy-do here. Very gentle, like this. You aren't sewing much right now, Walter? Is that what you said in your comment? What's been going on? Is it just busy end of school year stuff? So I know you got your new machine too. Look at all that left over. It's an embarrassment of riches. Okay. So let's trim one of these down. And we have our pocket left. So if we want to trim down an under collar, when you see the notch right here, this means that this is the neck edge. We don't want to trim that edge. We want to trim this other outer perimeter. So here's the little point of the notched collar, right? This is the outer edge. Oh, I was going to... oh well, we don't have fabric to do that. I was gonna kind of make this a little bit longer at center back here, just very gradually. Oh well. Yeah, I totally get that, Walter. I remember that. I knew that's probably had to be what was going on because I just wasn't there that long ago. I remember that. Oh, it's hard to grab a little bit of that edge and trim it off. Just pushes away. Yeah, it's probably not a really good example to be doing it like that, Terry, but I feel like people are doing it, so I might as well show you how I'm doing it. When I did the yoke, I used my ruler to make sure that it was straight. It's so easy to flip a pattern piece and get it off, and then you have like a point here and there, or like this. So you have to be really careful. I have all that extra fabric, right? I mean, look at this. I'm gonna make a halter top out of this. All right, this is my under collar. So I'm gonna put a notch on either side of the center, and I know that's my under collar. And then this one is my top collar. So I don't need my pattern pieces. I'm going to interface that in the facing. And so here's all my fabric left over. So here's my pocket. Oh, did you guys see Jen Stern's gonna have, oh my gosh, her name just flew out of my head, from the Confident Stitch. Oh, what's her name? Oh, shoot. What's her name? Confident. Anyway, she runs a fabric store in Missoula, Montana. I follow her on Instagram. She's really funny. But she's also a certified Palmer and Pletch teacher. And Jen's having her on her channel on Friday. I'm hoping I remember to watch. I might be streaming. You guys are all going to be watching her, not me. You should be. It sounds really fun. What the heck is her name? I could make a flower. I could. That would be cute. We're going to be really careful with our little bit of extra fabric, though. I was going to Hong Kong finish the edge of the facing, but that ain't happening with the fabric I have left. I mean, I could, but that's a lot of seams. All right, here's our pocket. So this is our fabric left over. Oh, man. Let's organize the bin a little bit here. All right, so we can get an envelope out. Where is that box of envelopes? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So put away all of our stuff here. We could use this to cut the interfacing out, though. That might be handy. And this, and this. All right. All right, and then we have, let's see if I can remember the order. This is the front, this is the back. We're going to do our darts first. We're going to, okay, I have to admit, hi Kate. It's Kate, yes, Kate from Confident Stitch. You're not named Kate. Yeah, thank you, thank you. You're named Pam, right? Right? It's so hard to keep track of your guys' names between Instagram, YouTube, the Guild. All right, so this is my front. We're going to do the darts first. I kind of want to do the sewing in a different order, and I don't feel so bad about it because I know they have their own tutorial, so I can do this how I would prefer to sew it together. So I'm going to, do it a little differently. So here is the yoke to the back. We'll have that. And then we'll have our facing and collar. And then the sleeves will be last at the very bottom. Yes, Pam. She is so funny. I want to see that. Oh, the pocket. The pocket's going to be first. That's first. I'm going to stagger this so I can cut out my interfacing. They sent me some woven interfacing. A little nervous about it. Oh, but I pre-washed it. I do not have a good memory not for that kind of thing. I work on it. It's not natural. Like, it's not natural for me at all. I'll admit it. I work hard at it. I sometimes, before I reply to someone, will look at 3 different accounts to make sure I've got it right. So, yeah. You guys keep me on my toes. And maybe I don't need to do that, but I know when someone remembers my name, I'm always like, wow, that was nice. So after cutting this, I'm pretty sure I will not be able to get a Donnie out of that fabric I held up. That wasn't even a yard of fabric. I got it because I loved the fabric so much. And I was like, you know what? You could make a tank top out of this. That'd be cute. All right, so let's put this with that. And then we need, what did I do? I washed it in the washing machine and I dried it on low for like 20 minutes. I am totally experimenting, Terry. Oh, I don't know, you guys. I'm just really paranoid. I've not been happy with some of the woven interfacings, and I'm not sure which one this is. That heart they sent me this. I used to love it. I loved the stuff they sent me. Then I went and bought some. I bought some from them. I bought some from Waywack. I bought some from my local store, and they all got kind of jumbled up, and nothing was working. I ran out of the stuff that I'd gotten from Hearts, and then I was getting that issue where it would look like cellulite. It doesn't melt the glue. It's still there. I mean, it shouldn't, because it has to get laundered later anyway. What am I doing here? This is so interesting. This has a selvage, but it doesn't on this edge. So I guess I'll cut it like this on the length grain. I didn't cut the collar on the length grain. I cut it on the cross grain. But I don't think I can get a collar across. So I'm going to have to. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, you know, when I see when they send me things, they usually arrive at my house so that I can just pre-wash it. Funnily, I just ordered from them and I accidentally had it shipped to my P.O. box because I was like, wait, it says it was delivered. I don't know how I did that. So I have it sent to the house because otherwise it just goes to my house anyway to get pre-washed. And I just threw it all in the laundry. When I saw the interfacing, I was like, you know, what the heck? I have nothing to lose with this stuff right now because I've been just getting bitten in the butt with it, you know? So, I only need one. I don't need 2 collars in interfacing. We'll just save one for my next Donnie. There we go. I'm just thinking of future me. That's all. So yeah, I do still feel it on there. You can see it. It's still there. Well, this is woven interfacing. If it's not woven, you can cut it any old way. You can. Because there's no weave to it. So it doesn't matter. All right, so this one we'll just put in this pattern envelope. But the woven stuff, Julie, is like fabric. It's like they took fabric and they added glue dots all over it. So it does have a grain line. But I washed it, right? So there's that. I might be okay with not cutting that on grain, sorry. I'm super particular about these things. What's that funny smell? Don't mind me just sniffing the pattern envelope. Okay. Okay, we're ready. We got our whole project here. Look at, they send me 2 spools of thread. That was nice of them, actually. And we're ready to sew. And we're going to sew all of it tomorrow because we're savage like that. But on the inside, Sarah? Really? Yeah, I know, right, Aisha? Yeah, I don't know. I know we can start this whole interfacing conversation again. I feel like I've been doing this long enough to know that this is new. This is a new issue. It never did this before. This is a within the last 4 years thing. So I don't think any of us are doing it wrong. I think something happened during the panini to change the glue on the interfacing. That's my only reasoning for it. We all follow the instructions. We all not follow the instructions. None of us had this issue until the last few years. So I just don't think we're doing it wrong, personally. And I've been noticing it on 1 or 2 of the items I have with tricot. So that makes me super cautious now. Before streaming, I never used fusible interfacing. I just used fabric, and then I let my stream bully me into using, like, my mentality, my like insecurity with streaming. I started using fusibles again. So I don't know. I think that we're all okay. It's the interfacing fault. So yeah, I'll never trust it again either. But let's see how this goes. You know, I pre-washed it, and I had tried it. I had pre-washed it before. So what's happening in my opinion is that the interfacing is shrinking after the garment gets washed. The garment's already been pre-washed. The fabric was already pre-washed. The interfacing wasn't. And then we were ironing it on, and then I was getting that cellulite look. The only thing that tells me is that it's going like this and then drawing it up. So, yeah. Yeah. The sewing, I just use fabric. Yeah, right, Terry, exactly. And a lot of times I just use the little tricot roll. All right. Well, don't forget there's a 10% off code on the screen right here. And if you order at Hearts Fabric, and I put a link, I think, in the description for the Brussels washer linen. I'm excited to sew the Donny. Be one of the cool kids again. And we'll start sewing tomorrow. So tomorrow, not Saturday. Usually I stream on Saturdays. Saturday, if you're in the Sacramento area, the American Sewing Guild is having an annual fabric sale. And I guess they just get tons and tons of donated fabric and they sell it. I have no idea what it's going to be like, but I'm going to check it out. So the code is always good. Always good. You can do this anytime. It doesn't have to be when I'm doing a project. You could do it 2 months from now. So always good. They changed it once because it got compromised, but that's it. So yeah, I'll remember to wind my bobbins before. Yeah, thanks you guys. I'm looking forward to it too. So same time tomorrow, and I'm going to sew the whole thing straight through. We're going to do French seams. I'm going to sew the collar on a different way. Their way works perfectly fine. I'm just going to sew it the way I would normally sew it. So it'll be a little different. So if you've made these and you want to try something new, you can try my method or just watch and eat the popcorn, you know. I'm doing French seams on the armhole and the side seam. I thought about doing a vent on the sides because I think that would be kind of cute. So we can vote on that tomorrow if we do a vent. So I think that would be fun. So yeah. You steam it first, Anne. That's a good one too. I like that. I like that idea. And I was just at home, so my steam there isn't as good. Oh, that reminds me. Terry, I have something to tell you about the iron, the thing. Don't let me forget. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.